getting up early. Sorry. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for coming and for everyone for staying up and getting up early and staying, throughout, which I know some of you have been here for most of the sessions. So we're really pleased to welcome Rich Curtis, who's coming to us to his session is going to be about breath poems, and he'll explain a little bit more about it. But so I'll just tell you a little bit about him. He's a professional artist and associate professor of art at Thomas University in Southern Georgia, USA. He's also a certified death doula and hospice volunteer. And he's here to talk with us today and to perform, not just to talk, about sound poems inspired by end stage breathing patterns. At the end of the presentation, there will be an opportunity to ask questions. There may be, actually, I think we may be switching it around a bit. We were just saying, I think you're going to explain, he's going to explain about the process, and then there'll be an opportunity if you want to ask anything to clarify before he then performs the poems. And then if we've got enough time at the end, we can also have a little chat with some questions at the end. So if you just put any questions, as you have been doing, into the chat with question in capitals at the beginning, or you can come on screen by raising your hand. And I think that's probably about it. I mean, you can use the closed captions. I think some of the sounds and things that Rich is going to be making, I don't know if the closed captions will cope with it, but give it a go. But I'm going to hand over to you now, Rich. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Hi. It's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you all for attending and this important topic, this important subject of death and dying, and all the different ways that we are presenting ideas about it. Um, as she said, my name is Rich Curtis. I am from southern Georgia in the United States, and I teach art. My background is in both visual art, drawing and painting, as well as performance art, so time-based art. And within that sort of genre, one of the things that I focused on, especially in my graduate studies, was sound poetry. So the non-linguistic sort of phonetic poetry that was started with the futurist and Dada movements around the turn of the 20th century. So, and so I was fascinated by that, and it sort of became something that I was interested in reciting old sound poems, as well as finding sounds in the environment and responding to them or mimicking them. When I kind of thought of myself as a kind of like a mockingbird, where I'm accumulating all of these environmental sounds and making them into little compositions and whatever. So that was one part of my graduate work, and that's that has sort of been something that I return to periodically. That started about 20 years ago, and so over those years, I have gone back to drawing and painting, and then into performance, and back and forth, and now I kind of have tried to integrate them into a kind of art practice that sort of spans all of these different aspects, from creative writing to the kind of performance stuff, but also drawing and painting and so forth. So this is one aspect of my work that deals with my relatively recent interest, which is the process of death and dying, and that came about because I started about 6 years ago volunteering with the local hospice. I was introduced to the idea of it. Actually, from many different sources, but one really specific source was from um, a podcast where they were talking to some Zen priests that had that started the Zen Hospice Project in San Francisco, and I was really struck by that. And as a fellow practitioner, I started reading about it and wanting to know how I can become involved in that, and found the local hospice organization and started volunteering. And I just fell in love with the sitting bedside and meeting these families and these patients, and have been so inspired creatively and in my teaching as well as my spiritual practice and all of this by this whole area of renewed interest. And so one of the things that I have done more recently in the last couple of years is to allow that experience of being a hospice volunteer and end of life doula. I went ahead and certified as an end of life doula, sort of as an extension of what I was doing as a volunteer. And I still practice whatever I do as a doula. I practice within the context of being a volunteer through the hospice organization, and so that really it's a beautiful container for me to have this experience, and then I allow it to inspire my artistic practice. I started doing a project where I would draw the patient's hands and then give them the drawings, and they've often used them for their memorial services or just as a remembrance and that sort of thing. So that was my first way into sitting with these families and having that connection, using my art as a way of connecting with them. And then as I got more just frankly more comfortable, but also more experienced, I was allowing other aspects of the dying process to just sort of inspire me. And one of the things that really drew me in was the end stage breathing patterns. So when I've been researching the different kinds of end stage breathing patterns, there's three ones that come up as far as I'm concerned, or I have researched, which is the first is probably the most recognizable, the death rattle. So when patients begin to have that death rattle, that's sort of a sign that they are transitioning or actively dying, and often the family, having heard it for the first time, thinks that there's something wrong or they're in pain or something's that they want to change. But actually, it's a very natural and it's not a painful process for the patient. It's just mucus in the back of the throat that's making this it can be quite startling sound. But then there's also breathing patterns like agonal and what I pronounce as Cheney-Stokes. I hope that's the correct name. I think it's somebody's last name, or that is, it is a kind of irregular breathing pattern where there's a gasp, and then there's an almost hyperventilation, and then a long pause, and then a gasp, and so it becomes this very intense. You're just waiting. You're thinking, oh, is this it? No, and then just this kind of release, and so this that can also be very challenging for the family. And so as I have sat with families and patients, just knowing that that's happening and reassuring them that it's as part of the natural process. And actually, during that time, I would start doing a little bit of recording. So I would ask, would you mind if I recorded the breathing of the patient. I would ask the families, and most of them have been very willing to do that. And so I have just a few, 10 or 15 examples of these different breathing patterns that, they're different depending on the person, but they follow these different patterns and sounds. And and of course the sounds of the machinery. There's typically in a hospice they're not on a lot of they're not hooked up to ventilators and stuff, but there are other mechanical sort of sounds that accompany the medical process, and so those kind of enter into the suite of sounds that I'm interested in. And so I just kind of began to compile these sounds through recording and through just kind of working with them and thinking about how they could become a kind of music. And I'm also thinking about how to present them in a way that they are no longer something that is startling or confusing or scary to a patient's family, as a way of creating something beautiful out of them. And so that was one of the ways that I wanted to explore these breath patterns and sounds. And so what I came up with at this point is a score that has 8 different parts, and each part is, they're very kind of short, but they focus on a collection of sounds or breathing patterns, and they are coupled with texts that I wrote in response to my sitting with patients. And then the introduction actually comes from a quote from Shunryu Suzuki, who is the author of Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, and he was the founder of the San Francisco Zen Center, which is where the Zen Hospice Project came from, which is where my interest in hospice came from. So that is sort of a full circle in that respect. And the quote is about how the breath creates this kind of this doorway between the inner and outer world. And so I will read that quote as part of the introduction and then go into the different sounds and texts. And I think it will be fairly self-explanatory. And of course, I would love any feedback or questions before or after. I can kind of pause here and let you, if you have questions, you're welcome to speak up. And then after, I'm sure there'll be plenty of time to discuss. And again, I just appreciate you being here. So. I guess I can look in the chat unless, I don't know how far down. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, yes. So Lisa posted in the chat a podcast that I had done with End of Life University, and it had there are some drawings of those, and so that is very nice. Thank you, Lisa.
Sorry, I was just I did just slightly distracted there. So you're going through this, seeing if there are any questions. Is that what
I just opened the chat to see, and just saw a couple of comments. So
lovely.
I guess then what I will do is move into the performance part of this presentation.
I'm sure we'll have some questions after that as well.
I'm sure something will come up. Okay. I appreciate it. So this is Score for Breath Poems. One, swinging door. When we inhale, the air comes into our inner world. And when we exhale, the air goes out to the outer world. The inner world is limitless, and the outer world is also limitless. We say inner world and outer world, but actually there is just one whole world. In this limitless world, our throat is like a swinging door. The air comes in and goes out like someone passing through a swinging door. Shunryu Suzuki. Two, whispers. Do not speak to me of bones. Only whisper quickly regarding this flesh before it vanishes. Too late, even as these words escape. Three, in the folded hours. I wait in the folded hours where time slips backwards. Oh, place my hand across your ripened portobello brow. Eyes peeled to the quick, revealing frosty half-moons orbiting in shadows. Four, violin moans. 5. Body scan. Your soupy yawn sagging like a flat tire. Let the breath come and go. Let the weight of your head rest on the pillow. Soften the temples, soften the brow. Allow the shoulders to fall open, the arms heavy. Hands receptive, the belly soft. The hips wide and grounded, legs long and supported, the feet open, receptive. Breath rising and falling, rising and falling. I inhale the mists of your atomized organs, the briny incense curling above the altar of your angled body. My own breath, a clenched fist, making offerings to your mass. Six, Cheney Stokes. It's okay. It's all right. You're okay. You're all right. I know. I know. 7 stillnesses. The toes curling under as if to scoop out the dark earth for your rest. And what to make of your stillness. This body belongs to the earth. This body belongs to the stars. This body belongs to this moment. The door swings open. Every time you say goodbye, I die a little more inside. And every time you say goodbye, I die a little more inside. Every time you say goodbye, I die a little more inside. Every time you say goodbye, I die a little more inside. Every time you say goodbye, I die a little more inside. Every time you say goodbye, I die a little more inside. Thank you.
Wow. Sorry, I have to give you a proper clap.
Oh my God, please feel free to unmute everybody.
Yes.
That was incredible.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
And you
Wow.
need to go on a little longer because everybody is blown away. And if you're happy to, would you answer some questions?
I would love to. Absolutely.
We've got a
Oh,
gap anyway. It's not encroaching on anyone else.
No, exactly. Thank
I'm
you.
going to
Wow.
I'm going to unpin myself so hopefully I can see the gallery. Oh, there we go. The gallery's
I
open
can
now. Okay, great.
I can read them out and
Beautiful.
if I can. Wow. So Elizabeth Jane Lovely says, how is it to perform them stood with a physical live audience? As I listen, I feel like I want to give movement to the sounds, and I wonder how it is for you, Rich, in this regard.
Yeah, it's so interesting being in my office and sitting down because usually I would be standing up and it would be much more of an embodied experience for me to I feel sort of pinned in a little bit, but uh, had to do it for the acoustics. But yeah, I much prefer doing it as a live performance. Um,
So would
yeah,
you normally move around if you were
probably a little more,
yeah.
and some of my gestures you probably didn't see because my camera was just kind of focused on my face. If I had sort of backed up a little bit, I might have been able to be. 'Cause some of my hand gestures were a little. I noticed when I looked up they weren't on camera. But anyway, I try to do a little more physicality than just standing in front of the
I
microphone.
mean,
Yeah.
we didn't need the
I
physicality.
was
It
going
was
to say
amazing.
it's
Yeah.
interesting that you said that. I don't know if Haley wants to come on, uh,
Mm.
unmute and say what you were thinking about your radio show.
Mm.
You still here, Haley?
Yeah, there she is.
Haley West?
Yeah. Yeah, it was incredible. Like I can imagine as yeah, an audio work, it would work as well because it's so detailed with all the layers and everything that actually without like I had the camera off for a while, off you for a while and just listening
Hmm.
and it worked really well as well. Like and I think like as you were talking about you would normally do it as a performance actually on an online festival and for radio it works as well but a little bit differently but
Hmm.
yeah so because I do a bit of performance work as well it was just so incredibly yeah it was so visceral like it was your voice as well as the yeah the sounds but I missed the start of the presentation but I was wondering about your training.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I did go into a little bit of that in the intro, but basically in grad school, I started working with performance art, and from there, learning about the history of sound poetry, and so incorporating some of the historical sound poetry, and then uh, looking into just contemporary versions of that, um, and so I have done that periodically for the last 20 years, but it hasn't been a main focus of my creative work until the last year or so when I started really combining or I guess focusing on those sounds that the in-stage breathing and the sounds around death and dying that were really interesting to me. So thank you for that question.
Oh, I love it as a creative way to talk about death. Like it's amazing. Thank you.
I
Thank
was going to
you.
ask you, Rich, you're talking about your sort of training and things, but because there's a real virtuosity to it, and I wondered were there any particular practitioners that influenced what you're doing vocally?
Yeah, there's a Dutch sound poet, Jaap Blanc, that I studied with. I went over and studied for a few weeks and then kept in touch with him throughout yeah, and he's pretty just amazing. He's sort of one that really would recite older sound poems, and now he's gotten into uh, using electronics with his voice and all kinds of stuff. So that's further afield than I care to go. But he's
But
but
it sounded like a lot that was in your voice anyway. A lot of the time it sounded electronic. It sounded like instruments that you could relate to, as well as, the body and the bodily functions. There was so many layers of tactileness to it. It was
oh wow.
I don't know
incredible.
how you made it. I mean, the sounds didn't. I don't know how you made them. As in, I think that's what slightly what you're saying, Joe. I don't know if you mean.
And also that was almost, I'm sorry, I don't want to harp on and
Mhm.
hog the conversation, but I think that's what made it so magical is I didn't know how you were doing it.
Mm,
If I could see you, maybe that I don't know that I can see that there's two sides to being in a space with you and seeing you at your body and your breath working in this way. But I think, as Haley said, there's something really powerful about just the sound as well. And
mm,
being on your own with that sound made it very powerful for me, as opposed to being in a room with people.
mm.
I guess there are two different aspects there as well. But sorry, please, other
That's
people,
no,
please
There's,
thank you,
chime
Joe.
in.
I have got a question from Elizabeth Jane Lovely.
Great.
It was sent. How do you script the sounds? How do you write something that has no formal verbal language?
That is a great question. I don't know if it will show up, but I can show the score that I kind of it's going to blur out. But basically, I sort of do phonetic approximations like the crackle sound of the was just a KU and TKTK was just my notation to myself. And sometimes some scores I've just done drawings, so I'll know that a certain squiggle means something else. So anyway, it's um, since I don't have formal musical training, I get to make it up as I go along. So,
I loved the bit with when you were speaking from the song. That was amazing as well.
thank you, thank you.
Somebody said they'd like to see your score. Can I spotlight you? Are you happy to show us?
I sure. Let me see if I can. I think also if I can unblur myself, blur my background.
I'll spotlight you
okay.
anyway and give you a bit more space there. So
Okay, so that
oh,
Hold on, it's
and I think that
maybe
one.
Is it gonna?
I don't know if it'll show or not.
I don't know if it will show.
there's a lot of shape to it on the
Yeah,
page.
so that was an indication of inhale, outhale, exhale. I don't know if you can see those little squiggly lines to the side, and then the basic phonetics. Oh, there we go. Oh, let's see if it.
Probably is
Just
Making
this up
it's just trying to find a face, isn't it? That's all it's interested in.
Oh yeah, that's a bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I unblurred my background. Hold on.
You have? I think it's just.
I think it's on focus, trying to
Yeah, I think it's just trying to find
what
your
are you
face,
doing?
really.
Right. So yeah, so it was about 6 pages
Yeah.
of these kinds of things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really amazing. I mean, there's just it's like someone that Henry says you've written a secret coded language. It's like
It sometimes feels like it's since I don't know musical notation, it's kind of my own version of what the sounds might look like, and so yeah.
Yeah, and I think Henry also says it's almost like some throat singing too. I thought it sounded at the beginning was very Tibetan Buddhist, the deep.
Yeah, I have done some overtone singing, and so that sort of creeps in sometimes it's often a way that I like when I'm performing. I'll kind of set the mood, or you just kind of a drone to sort of become part of that.
Did you say the poet was Jack Blanc?
Yeah, JAAP.
Blanc, I've got him. Somebody wanted. I'll put this link in the chat for you.
Cool. All right.
Yeah,
That's not it.
Lisa's saying how she loves how multifaceted your work is. The drawings are amazing, and the sounds and the words just wow. It's just
thank you so much.
I think everyone's just in shocking in a good way.
Yeah, and it's funny because I didn't know with Zoom how the audio would, because sometimes when I listen to Zoom recordings, there'll be like a burst of sound, and it blows the speakers. So I'm glad it didn't overwhelm.
No, it was perfect. The sound was really good. And Haley's saying this is so inspiring for my burgeoning doom metal vocalist aspirations.
Love it.
I want you as my coach.
I love collaborating with other artists, so if there's any opportunities like that, I would love to be in touch.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to
Haley's
you
radio
more.
show.
Or the radio, whatever. I would love to just. I would love to be in touch with whomever. That's great.
You want to email me, Haley, and I'll send your details on. And I mean anyone else, obviously, as well. If you want to get in touch with Rich, have we put Rich's links in the?
Yeah, let's put the
in the
Facebook
chat.
one in earlier, and I've just
Rich is a sensible human, and he just has a Facebook page.
Just put it again as well.
You can't reach him if he's not on Facebook. He does have an email.
I
Hang
do
on,
have
I'll
email. I
I'll
would
put that
probably
in
be
there.
easier to reach on email.
Yeah, is that okay? I forgot that. Have you got that, Joe?
I've got that. Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Cool. Oh, yes. Perfect.
I'm trying to see
I've
if
only
there's
just
any-
understood your email address.
What's
Yes,
it?
there we go. That was from
I've been emailing you
text
for
to
weeks.
sound.
I've just got it. Text to sound.
there's a really cool book called Sound Text, and it's by Richard Constellanets, and it's all these old scribbles and strange letters and so forth. That it's a collection of these old scripts. So, but yeah, that was fun to my email.
Amazing. I'm just trying to say. Oh,
Just
so
mind blowing. I think I can speak for everyone.
yeah,
It's
Jenny
just
said the bubbling
blowing
part
our
was.
minds.
Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, go ahead.
Jenny said the bubbling part was incredible, and also, and Jenny loved to see your reactions, Joe.
Oh, sorry.
No, in a good way. No, I think that's no. I think
I normally have my
jealousy
camera
was
off.
how
but
we were all feeling. No, you were visualizing how we were all feeling.
Well, somebody else said, and I mean, I was in absolute tears at the end, but they weren't sad tears. There was a memory of,
Wow.
My own father's death,
Yeah.
and a feeling about my own demise, and all of us. There was a real kind of uniting element to it as well, even though we're all so far away from each other, and we couldn't see each other. It was just incredible, Rich. So thank you so much.
Oh,
Can't
this has
thank
been
you
such
enough.
an honor. I mean, goodness gracious, I am so happy to share it with you and with everybody, and it's always so inspiring to hear what it comes out from it. I mean, when you said that you had a memory of the passing of your father, is that right? It was,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so. Thank you.
Very,
Thank you
very
for sharing.
strong. Very strong. It was
And
perfect.
it was also, I think, with my father as well. I mean, it's those like the bits of sort of almost like slight words, but not words, sounds as well. The different. It was amazing how you did the different stages or different.
Yeah, the complexity of the rhythm and everything was just, I could go on it for hours at you, but I think we might have to let you go.
Yeah.
Well,
Has anyone else, sorry, I'm hogging it. Does anyone else got anything they want to say before we let Rich go? Please feel free to jump on,
unmute,
speak.
Just
mind blown.
Well, again, it's been an honor, and thank you so much for being here. And I can't wait to see the other, the GoFundMe. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. This is such an important.
Sorry about that. That now doesn't seem like a good time. I've been bugging you all day in there, and now I'm.
If you enjoyed this, you just wait. No, it's okay.
Sorry.
What we're going to do is we're going to just before we're going to shut down the system entirely for a minute. So, Rich, you don't have to worry about doing that later. I have emailed you about it, but we just suddenly realized that we've got a big break, which is why we said let's go on for a bit longer with you.
Yeah.
New people wanted to speak with you. But so if everyone can just leave when they're ready, rather than go into the waiting room, and then the next session starts at in an hour, not at any time, in an hour.
So will we just, sorry to do this technical bit in front of everyone, but will we disable the waiting? Will we put the waiting room back on for people to wait in? Or
yes.